넓은 초원 위로 빛이 쏟아지며 찬란한 녹색 세상이 펼쳐집니다. 그 풍경 속에서 또 다른 인생 정원을 만났습니다. 런던에서라면 도시가 내뱉는 소음이 끊이지 않았을 풍경. 한참을 가도 새소리만 들릴 뿐 고요가 반깁니다. 아침 햇살이 정원을 평화롭게 가득 채웁니다.
It's my morning inspection. I like to see what's growing and what tasks I've got to do during the day. So I sort of pick out different things I need to work on. But yeah, every day is different. Weather's different every day. But yeah, my day begins with a walk around the garden.
부지런한 발소리가 밤새 고요했던 정원을 깨웁니다.
What I'm doing is I've dug up a nice clump of this geranium phyme, and I'm replanting it in a little bare patch. So I'm filling in the gaps. So anywhere where I can see a spare bit of room that needs a plant, that's where I plant it. So here we are, that's it. Just pops in the hole like that, fill around it, and that's it. So the soil is perfect, lovely and moist, and I'll water that in, and that'll be it. To a place in the garden where I think it will look better, which I think will be here. So here we are. Push that back in around there.
정원에서 일하다 보면 금세 녹초가 되지만 기분은 새롭습니다.
It is physically demanding, and it does mean that occasionally you go outside and you get cold and you get wet. But that's part of the process of gardening. And some people just don't want to do that. They just want an instant garden. They'll get a designer in, they'll get gardeners in, they'll have a maintenance team to come in and look after it. Well, that's fine, but I wanted a lifestyle, and that lifestyle revolved around, gardening, which is a process. Gardening's a process.
테리는 여름이 찾아오는 즈음의 정원을 좋아합니다. 식물이 성장하는 힘이 가장 강하고 심을 것도 많기 때문입니다. 하고 싶은 일을 할 수 있는 여유. 그것만으로도 충분히 좋습니다.
They're just fun, you know. They're just creating interesting shapes, and I think people find them. Well, I get asked a lot of questions. I get asked, what are the lollipops? And I just go around and I just trim them when they need trimming, but basically they're just for fun.
정원이라는 공간에서 식물들이 주는 만족감, 고요함이 주는 안정감. 테리가 정원을 가꾸기 시작한 이유입니다. 테리는 평생을 광고계에 몸담았습니다. 경제적으로 여유는 있었지만 항상 일정에 쫓겨야 했고 긴장과 스트레스의 압박감을 느꼈습니다. 지치고 나이든 테리의 마음을 어루만진 것은 흙 묻은 손이었습니다.
It's almost like a checklist, isn't it? It's almost like you tick, oh yes, I've got a Rolex watch, well that's, I've got that, I've got a nice car, I've got a Mercedes, and slowly you go up. But actually, they are material things that they, a new car is only a new car for, the first day that it's new, and then it becomes second-hand and used. There's more to life than material things. And they thought I was crazy. I mean, I think people thought I was having some kind of nervous breakdown or some kind of, sort of stress. But to me, it was a natural journey. Within 5-10 minutes of being in the garden, I'm in the zone, and suddenly that stress has just evaporated. So it was very much going back to a time in my life that was simpler, more connected with the seasons and nature. And it was great. It was something which I have never regretted.
정원을 가꾸다 보면 어수선했던 생각들이 어느 순간 사라지고 마음이 가라앉습니다. 정원을 가꾸기로 결심한 테리는 버려진 황무지를 구입했고 상상력을 펼쳤습니다. 마치 그림을 그리듯 황폐한 땅을 개간하여 그 위에 정원을 설계했습니다.
And so although it looked great in the first year, like an impressionist painting, like a French artist had created it. In year 2, it was just a disaster. Weeds had come up, nettles and docks and cow parsley, and it was a disaster. And so we realised then that we needed to look more closely at how you create a garden and what works. And that started me on the passion that I have today of creating gardens.
집 벽면을 캔버스 삼아 배치한 정원. 밋밋했던 풍경은 전혀 다른 표정으로 다가왔습니다. 그렇게 정원은 일상이 됐습니다.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
You must be Terry.
I am.
Mine is Moon.
Hello, Moon. Good to see you.
I'm from Korea.
Okay.
And I'm an architect.
Well,
And I've come all the way from Korea to see your beautiful garden.
let me show
It's
you around.
famous.
Come with me.
테리의 정원은 독특한 구도를 가지고 있습니다.
So this is the formal end of the garden, and the garden goes right the way through using the longest line of sight, which dissects the diagonal through to the orchard room, which we'll walk to in a moment. But the key thing about the garden is to try and bring the landscape in. So it's what we call borrowed landscape. So
from over there?
Yeah, so you've got the
Okay.
hills and the fields. So the garden feels placed. These arches, which are just rusted metal,
Yes.
what we have here is clematis, and it has the most beautiful buds. And by midsummer, by July,
Okay.
all of these arches will be covered.
테리의 정원은 계절이 바뀔 때마다 다양한 꽃들로 가득합니다.
Right the way through until autumn.
So you said something about progression, right?
Yeah.
Colors
Yeah.
changing and seasonal.
Successional planting.
Oh, successional.
So
That's right.
there's a
That's right.
succession. One
Okay.
plant takes over from another when one dies. But
Okay.
plants don't live forever.
Okay.
They have a natural lifespan like we do. Now these bluebells, and as you can see, they're the shape of a bell.
Yeah, they look like a bell, don't they?
Yeah, they
Yeah,
do.
look at that. Okay.
But these have real meaning to me because
Yeah.
my mother died. She passed away a couple of years ago,
Okay.
and these were in her garden.
Okay.
So I dug them up and I replanted them here.
From
So-
your mom's garden.
From my dear deceased mother's garden,
Okay.
and they have real meaning to me because now whenever I see them bloom at this time of year, I always think of my mother. She was 94, so
어머니가 돌아가신 이듬해
I might stay around for a
겨울이
bit.
끝나고 블루베리 피었을 때 테리도 이별의 아픔에서 회복할 수 있었습니다.
And I've dated this to 250 years old.
250 years old.
250 years old.
봄이
And then you
지나고
come through here
여름이
to this
찾아오면
bench.
너도 밤나무는 넓은 품으로 휴식처를 내어줍니다.
No, some people actually think.
테리는
I think some people
매일
are naturally
정원에서
creative and some people
자유롭게 주변을 둘러보고
It is
식물들의
a great
변화,
These
성장을
three trees
살피는
here
일상을
are an ornamental
즐깁니다.
pair. Well, most people don't realise there are 4 seasons. Most people think that it's just one long process, and some days are warm, and some days are cold, and some days are rainy, and some days are sunny. When you're a gardener, you notice every single day. So the great joy I have, the gift I have, is being able to feel the seasons, to be in the seasons and see them change. And very beautiful it is too. I'm very lucky, very lucky.
정원의 모든 것이 의미가 됩니다. 세상의 많은 위인들이 정원을 가꾸는 삶에 빠져든 것도 비슷한 이유가 아닐까 추측해 봅니다. 정원 가꾸기는 대화하는 것과 같습니다. 내가 하는 만큼 자연이 하고 내가 응답하면 자연도 다시 응답합니다. 이 반복되는 주고받음 속에는 느리지만 계속 이어지는 대화가 있습니다. 그 대화에 감사함을 느낍니다.
They look very different. They look very different indeed. And but you know, there's a certain thrill of putting your hands in the soil. You know, it's very difficult to describe, but being able to just put your hands into warm soil, and just to, you know, to put a plant in the ground, and knowing that it will grow, and knowing that it's going to be very beautiful, it's a thrill. But many of my old friends and people I used to work with will look at my hands with utter disgust and disdain and think, what on earth?
I need a bit of experience.
So you want to do some
바쁘게 사는 도시 남자가 정원을 가꾸기에는 좀처럼 없었을 겁니다.
Well, I've got some lettuce here.
Okay.
Dig a
All
hole
right.
and you put the lettuce
all
in.
right. Okay. All right.
And then,
Oh,
yeah, that's okay.
All right.
Lovely rich soil. Got a bit of a worm in there.
Okay. Then I
And so you just knock it out the pot.
put it
No,
like
no,
that?
no, no. You take it out the pot. I'll show you.
All right.
You just. There you
Oh,
go.
okay.
Like that.
Okay. That's how you do it. All right.
Okay. And then gently just pop it in the hole.
Oh,
It's
so
nice
you
and wet.
you just put it in like
Just
this.
put it in like that,
Oh, okay.
and then you just fill in around it.
This will grow, right?
It will grow,
hope it
and it will be very tasty.
I've never. This is my first time I've ever planted vegetable in my life.
There you go.
At least I can make my own food. 여기서는 아주 작은 것, 아주 작은 변화들을 느끼고 행복을 느낄 수 있는 그런 것들이 여기 가득 차 있는 것 같아요.
정원을 가꾼다는 게 어떤 것인지 궁금했습니다. 활짝 핀 꽃을 바라보는 설렘과 꽃들 사이를 거닐며 보내는 평화로운 시간. 정원은 가꾸는 만큼 돌려줍니다. 이른 아침 또는 해질 무렵 잘 가꿔진 정원을 바라보는 것만큼 행복한 일이 없을 것 같습니다.
I am very motivated, I'm very stimulated by beauty. I like beauty, I appreciate beauty. I appreciate it in the natural world, in the countryside, and what's around me. But the key thing is, you have to notice it. You have to look at it and think, that's nice, that's beautiful. And then, I want to create beauty. And the rewards are having a garden that satisfies you and makes you happy.
정원을 가꿔 볼 생각을 하지 못했는데 생각이 달라졌습니다. 저도 정원을 가꾼다면 허브를 심어보고 싶지만 일단 아샤이의 완두콩, 테리의 상추부터 시작해야겠습니다.